Welcome to Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I'm Scott.
I'm Candace.
I'm Lariah.
And I'm Lacey. Grab a drink and come hang with us at the Hangar Bar.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Hanging at the Hangar Bar. I hope everybody is having a fabulous day wherever you are. So if you haven't already, go ahead and check us out on our social media platforms. We are on Instagram and on Facebook at Hanging at the Hangar Bar. So today will be hosted by just me, Lariah. But that's okay because we're still going to have fun because I have a cool episode planned. So just to jump right into things, I thought it would be fun to do an episode about the worst rides at Disney. Now, actually, let's just call them the least popular because I have no intention of hurting anybody's feelings or just ruining their favorite ride. I do not want to do that to anybody because everybody has a favorite ride for their own personal reasons. But I was just curious and I was just doing a little research on what rides were most commonly a least favorite to a lot of people. So yeah, just as a disclaimer, I mean, no ill words of any sort to anybody's favorite ride or anything. This is just based purely off research, and if it is your favorite ride, we would love to know why. Or if you are also not a fan of any of these rides, please let us know because, I'm just curious. To start off, we have the one that while I was doing my research, I saw was either at the bottom or near the bottom of every single blog and website I went to for the worst rated rides. And that is Tomorrowland Speedway. So we, for my last trip and my only trip to Disney World, we did not go on this ride. I remember looking and watching some people riding this ride, but it just wasn't for any of us. I don't think any of us in our group are interested in riding this ride. It's just very kiddish and like in a good way, It's good to have those rides for the kiddos and I'm sure they have a ton of fun on it, but yeah, so it's located in Tomorrowland in Magic Kingdom, and essentially it's just a racetrack that you would go to any sort of fun center. I don't know. But hopefully I said that in the simplest of way, but it's just like these little cars that you drive around a track, which, like I said, I'm sure is fun for any kid. I know if I were a kid, I probably would want to go on that ride. But just for our group, it's a no. It's a no from us. I think the only one who went on that ride, if I'm not mistaken, was Scott when he was really little. I could be totally wrong. Maybe. But I thought he had mentioned that before. Anyways, so that I'm going to have to agree with at being one of the lowest rated rides at Disney. And also, just to put this in there, I am only doing rides at Disney World. I know some of these rides will be located at Disneyland, but I'm just specifically talking about the ones at Disney World. So yeah. And these are also in no particular order, by the way, either. To continue, the next on the list that was near the bottom was the Mad Tea Party, located in Fantasyland. So this one is more of a classic ride because it's inspired by the one from Disneyland. And so I get it. I don't think that maybe it should be a low rated ride, but it's just a classic at Disneyland. So, my heart goes out to all the classics, even though maybe I do understand why they would be so lowly rated. But this one is one that my group, when I went, did not go on. And I don't think any of us were interested on going on one because it's just one of those like typical fair rides that you get in and you just start spinning the middle piece and you're sitting in a teacup and you're just spinning around. I personally hate spinning rides, so I don't think I would ever want to go on this ride. It's a skip for me, and I'm sure my party would agree. But yeah, I don't think it should be rated so low, but because it's a classic, but yeah, okay. Anyways, moving on to this is the worst ride at Disney. And I'm sorry, this ride is for sure deserves the spot even below Tomorrowland Speedway. We're talking about the Astro Orbiter. Yeah. This sick ride, sick-inducing, sick all the way around, is just, it's a mess. You have to take a stinky elevator up just to get up there. And then you are like, it's just, it needs to fly away is what it needs to do. Off topic, but I don't know if any of you have ever seen Jimmy Neutron, but I just had imagined that part when they're all riding the rides and like flying away to outer space. That is what I think of when I think of this ride, is it just needs to fly and never come back. You know what? Oh, by the way, this one's located in Tomorrowland also. But yeah, anyways, I did have a fun thought about what they could do to replace this ride so it can go away. So Disney, if you're listening, please take into consideration of turning the Astro Orbiter into a conservatory.
Quick little editor's note here. Lariah sent me a note afterwards and said she didn't mean conservatory, but she actually meant observatory. So when she's talking about this, just keep that in mind.
Okay, I just think that would be so cool to have like more of an attraction ride that high up in Disneyland, something where you get to utilize that view. Anyways, just an idea, but that is the worst ride at Disney to me. So moving on, we're not talking about that ride anymore. Okay, moving on to, okay, this one very much surprised me, and I guess it sort of did, it sort of didn't, but like I was kind of shocked. We're talking about It's a Small World, and while I'm doing some thinking, while I'm doing my research, and this one is a ride where I'm sure everybody listening has ridden this ride. Just because of how classic it is. It's a Walt original. It's a very important ride at Disney World, in my opinion. But I don't have that much love for this ride just because of like the song, and it's a water ride as in you're sitting in a boat, but those still aren't my favorite. But understandably, I don't think it should be rated low at all, because thinking on it, I just kind of was a little heartbroken by the fact that it was rated so low. Just because you get such a powerful message behind the ride that is just so very important, that it's just like, if you think about it that way, it's like it is a perfect ride. Not to mention the art style. I'm blanking on the name of the artist, but it's absolutely beautiful. The way that ride is represented is beautiful. So I do not agree with it being rated so low by people, but to each their own. But it is a classic, so it does stay near and dear to a lot of hearts out there. And that is located in Fantasyland, by the way. All right, moving on, we have the Barnstormer, which is located also in Fantasyland, but in Storybook Circus. And essentially what it is you're following the story of Goofy as a stuntman, and you're like in an airplane, and it is considered a junior roller coaster. And we did not go to Storybook Circus when we went, even though I would really love to go back there, just to see every part of Magic Kingdom would be amazing. But it sounds like a fun little story back there, and I just want to go and check it out, because I am a big fan of Goofy. He's my favorite. I love him so much. So it just seems like a fun little ride that, you just kind of go on and just goof around. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't really have an opinion on whether it should be rated so low, because I get it that it is a junior roller coaster. And so that's not for everybody, but so it may not be as exciting. But I guess if you're just thinking about how you're on like Goofy's little stunt machine, it kind of, brings joy into a lot of hearts out there. So just kind of having fun with the story behind it rather than the ride itself, I guess. But yeah, so I am kind of at a draw on that one, but that one was rated very low on a lot of blogs and stuff. Moving on, we have the Triceratops Spin, which is located in Dinoland, USA in Animal Kingdom. I did not see a whole lot of open rides when the four of us, I keep saying my group, I meant like the four hosts of this podcast, our little Disney family. When we went, we spent actually a little bit of time in Dinoland because it's really cute back there. And I know Scott and Candace really love it because they really love the story behind it and how wonderfully it is done and represented. And it is honestly just a cute little part of Animal Kingdom that I don't think gets a lot of hype. But anyways, about Triceratops Spin, it is a ride kind of like Dumbo or the Flying Carpets of Aladdin, which I saw the Flying Carpets of Aladdin getting rated like moderately low, but not Dumbo. Even though they're all kind of the same ride, but every time it was always Triceratops Spin that was rated so low. And I really couldn't figure out why, but maybe it's because of the location, maybe it's because not a lot of people go to Dinoland. I'm not sure, but yeah, that one was rated really low. But I think out of like Dumbo and the Flying Carpets of Aladdin and Triceratops Spin, if I had to pick going on one, it would probably be Triceratops Spin, just because like you're riding in a triceratops, and I just think that would be the cutest thing ever. And you're not being spit on by a camel. So there's that. But anyways, if you didn't know, you get spit on by a camel on the flying carpets of Aladdin. So, like a fake camel, okay? It's a fake camel and it's just water, but no. Anywho, so that one was another one rated pretty low. This next one made me laugh so hard just because I just remember Lacey and I's time on, it's not a ride, it's an attraction, but it was just a spur of the moment. We were sitting down waiting for a dinner reservation, and it was just like right in our area. And I'm talking about the Swiss Family Treehouse. And I just, every time this attraction, this maze, this obstacle course gets brought up, I find it like incredibly hilarious. And I don't know why. It's just like, I'm sorry, but it's just kind of not, I don't want to say it's like, I don't know. It's just like the silliest little attraction ever. And I'm sorry if I am offending anybody. I'm sorry if this is one that is near and dear to your heart. But I just found it really silly. Because, I don't know. I'm not a, what's his name? Tom Sawyer fan at all. And I think this kind of relates to him. I don't know the whole story about it, but it's like you're just going through this house. It's not a house, it's like a tree house. Like I said in the name, geez, need to get my stuff together. But yeah, it's just kind of a walk-through attraction. And when I went on it, it felt like people were using it as sort of a hiking trail. And so first of all, we were being rushed along, but second of all, it was just the silliest little thing, okay? And it just makes me laugh every time. So that was the first attraction that I came across when doing my research, and I just busted out laughing so hard. It was so funny. So the Swiss Family Treehouse is located in Adventureland in Magic Kingdom. So I feel like it's kind of hidden in there, so you kind of just have to look if you are interested in climbing it. I don't know, whatever, but do your own thing, I guess. It's there if you want to look for it. But that's a walk by, in my opinion.
Another quick little editor's note for clarity. Tom Sawyer's Island and Swiss Family Treehouse are two different things. Tom Sawyer's Island, you have to take a little boat to go over there. It is a walking trail. You move around it. I think Lariah may have been a little confused, the two stories, which means we're going to have to sit down with her and make her watch both the Swiss Family Robinson and the Tom Sawyer stories from Disney. So just for clarity, just if you're going to go and you're using this for any planning, just know that those are two separate attractions.
All right, moving on. So this is one I got a little saddened by, just because it's just so stinking cute that I hate to see it rated so low. And this was one that was rated pretty low on a ton of websites I went to, and I don't know, it just kind of broke my heart. But I am talking about Journey into Imagination, and that's in Epcot in World Celebration. And I honestly just could not believe that this ride was rated so low. I think it is so unique. It is so fun. It's so cute. It's funny. And I just can't imagine anybody not thinking Figment is cute. He makes the whole ride. Like, it's just our group has a really fun time with rides where you just get to sit and learn things. And it's so entertaining and so funny, and they're just so important that it's kind of hard not to go on these rides. But yeah, it honestly, at the end of it, it kind of reminded me of Willy Wonka a little bit. I don't know why. That sounds weird, but just with all, like, the optical illusions, and you're, like, learning about your senses. And I get the ride is kind of, like, it's a little jerky. It's a little, like, I don't want to use the term run down because it's not in any way. But, like, out of a lot of rides at Disney World, it sort of seems that way. But it's still, in my opinion, it is a classic because of how, like, it's just perfect for Epcot. And it's just so fun for, like, younger audiences. And I just think they just get a hoot out of Figment. And it's just a really neat ride. It's like, how I describe it is it's kind of like you are in your middle school science class and your teacher just put on a Bill Nye video. Like, you're just sitting there having a ton of fun, just watching it, learning, and just, like, having a grand old time. So that one is sadly ranked really low. Not by me, by any means, but by a large audience of people, apparently. So yeah, that one's pretty sad. Whatever. All right, so for this last one, I was very, very shocked because this was another one that was rated very low on a ton of different websites and blogs I went to. And I am talking about Prince Charming's Carousel, which is located also in Fantasyland, in Magic Kingdom. With this one, I haven't ridden it. I don't know if that's the correct word. I'm sorry if it's not, but it's so beautiful. And it just has the prettiest music, and it's in this, like, basically it's in the center of Fantasyland, and I just don't know what's not to love about the carousel. I mean, it is a carousel, but it's, like, right behind Cinderella's castle, I think. I hope I'm, like, memorizing this right. I'm, like, trying to walk my way around the park, but it's, like, in that area, and I don't know. I love carousels. I think they are so underrated, and I just think of them as one of the perfect rides ever to exist. Like, it's just something that you can just sit on and listen to beautiful music and just, like, look at all of your surroundings. And yeah, so I don't know. I get, as, like, a ride standpoint, at Disney World, it's not the most exciting ride, but it's so pretty, and it's so, like, I don't know, I just can't believe it was rated so low. It's just a beautiful ride, and I really want to ride it. But yeah, so I don't know, I'm just that one kind of confuses me because it just seems like a classic. Like, you just go to Disney World and you just get on a carousel and you just carousel around. And you just have a grand time while taking your time through Magic Kingdom, like one should, I guess. And just admiring its beauty. But, anyways, sorry I got a little passionate there about the carousel. But I didn't understand why. Not a lot of people like that ride. I guess that was our last one. So I hope you all enjoyed listening to this one, because it was really fun to do the research, and it was really fun to kind of, like, react and, like, see what different people and these sources said about the least popular rides at Disney World. just out of pure curiosity. So maybe I'll go back and see the best rated rides at Disney. I don't know, but I know we would all love to hear everyone's opinion on what you all think of these rides that I mentioned, and like if you agree, if you don't agree, we would love to know. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me here today, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.